Dear soul, take a deep breath and be still for a moment. Your energy is being softly touched by the angels right now. They are aligning your spirit with peace and comfort, helping to open a sacred connection between heaven and earth. This is not just another message. It is personal, divine, and deeply connected to your heart. Something sacred is reaching out to you. A truth that your soul may already have felt before your mind could even begin to understand it. Last night, something stirred around you. Maybe you felt a sudden chill in a quiet room, or a breeze that came from nowhere, or that strange pause in time when everything seemed to stand still. You might have thought it was your imagination, but it wasn't. It was real. It was your Father's Spirit reaching across the veil to remind you that love never ends. The angels want you to know that your Father's soul has been trying to speak to you. He has been sending signs, feathers that appear when you least expect them, numbers that keep repeating, flickering lights, dreams that fade when you wake, but leave an emotional echo. Each of these moments is not random. They are His way of saying, I'm still here. I see you. I love you. When heaven speaks in silence, your Father's soul has been guided by heaven to reach you now. There is something left unsaid between you, something His Spirit can no longer keep inside. Last night, when the world grew still, your soul felt His presence. The energy around you shifted, and deep within your heart, something recognized Him. He did not come to scare you or to make you uneasy. He came to bring peace. His soul, now filled with light and understanding, is still connected to yours by love, a bond that not even death can break. Love between parent and child doesn't fade when life ends. It grows deeper, stronger, and more eternal when seen through the eyes of spirit. He saw your pain. He saw your strength. He felt the quiet prayers you whispered when you thought no one was listening. And He wanted you to know that He was there, watching, protecting, and loving you in silence. The angels say His Spirit is filled with tenderness now, and He carries something in His heart that He never fully expressed when He was alive. He sees you now with heavenly clarity, not just as His child, but as a brave, gentle, and forgiving soul. He sees the patience you showed, the love you gave, even when love wasn't spoken back to you. He feels humbled by your strength. In His heart, He whispers, "You are a better person than I ever was." These are not words of regret alone, but words of truth spoken from a place of deep spiritual awakening, a Father's awakening. In heaven, souls see everything clearly. They see where they went wrong, what they misunderstood, and what they took for granted. Your Father now realizes how often He failed to express the love that lived inside Him. He wishes He had done better, that He had been softer, kinder, more understanding. He wishes He had listened instead of reacting, that He had shown love instead of hiding it behind silence. He knows now that He came from His own wounds. He carried pain that He didn't always know how to process. And sometimes He passed that silence down to you. But He sees with pride that you didn't let it break you. You became light in a world that once tried to dim your spirit. You became patient when life tested your limits. You carried love even when love wasn't easy. He sees the questions that still live in your heart, questions that have followed you for years. Questions like, did I matter? Was He proud of me? Did He ever truly see who I was? And now, through heaven's mercy, He answers, yes, you mattered more than He could ever express. He was proud, even if He didn't know how to say it. You were never too much, never a disappointment, never unworthy of love. Every silence between you came not from your lack, but from His fear. He didn't know how to meet you in the softness of your heart, but from where he stands now, he sees it all, and he weeps with gratitude for the love you gave, even when it wasn't returned in words. The healing beyond time. He cannot change what happened. He cannot rewrite the past or take back the moments that hurt, but he can come now to help heal what remains. His presence in that quiet chill, that unseen touch, that invisible embrace, it was his way of saying, I'm sorry, I remember, I see you now. In heaven, souls continue to learn. They don't rest in stillness. They evolve in understanding. Your father is learning the language of unconditional love, a language he struggled with while alive. He is learning to send love without walls, without pride, and without the fear that once kept him distant. He doesn't ask for instant forgiveness. He knows some wounds take time. What he asks for is the chance to stand beside you in spirit, to walk with you, to see you smile, to protect you from afar. The angels say he lingers near when your heart feels heavy. You may sense him in the quiet corners of your home, or in dreams where his face appears softer than you remember. These are not coincidences. They are sacred visits, moments when love crosses dimensions to remind you that connection is eternal. When you see feathers, repeating numbers, or lights flicker, let your heart be still. Whisper a small prayer of thanks. It is him saying again, I'm here. I'm learning. I love you. A father's confession. Your father's soul has spent much time reflecting. He carries no pride now, only humility. He sees clearly that he didn't always give you what you needed most. Emotional presence, open words, gentle understanding. He knows that his silence sometimes made you doubt your worth, and that doubt became a wound you carried quietly, long after he was gone. But from heaven, he sees your worth shining brightly. He sees how deeply you love, how you continue to choose kindness even when you've been hurt. He knows you became strong not because life was easy, but because you kept faith when others would have given up. He feels your tears. He knows the memories that both comfort and ache, and he wants to tell you, you were never responsible for my silence. You were always enough. You were always love in its purest form. Now, he wishes he could hold your hand, look into your eyes, and say all that was left unsaid. Since he cannot do it in body, he sends it in spirit, through moments that move your heart unexpectedly. When the air shifts, when time pauses, when your heart feels both warm and heavy, that is him whispering, I see you now. A bridge between worlds. Heaven has allowed your father this moment of connection because love still has work to do. There are unfinished feelings, not as punishment, but as an invitation to healing. The angels say this is not about reliving pain, but about transforming it. When you felt that strange stillness last night, it wasn't a haunting, it was healing. Your father's soul was near, not as a ghost of the past, but as a presence of peace. He came because he felt your heart calling. Deep inside, your spirit had been asking, where do we stand now that you're gone? And he came to answer that question not with words, but with love. He wants to close the distance between your hearts. He knows that during life, time rushed by, and words were swallowed in silence. He knows both of you built walls out of fear of being hurt. He knows that love was there, but hidden beneath unspoken pain. Now, he comes with no walls, only humility. He wants you to feel that love was always real, even if it wasn't always visible. He wants you to understand that you were seen, you were loved, and you were never forgotten. Healing the space between you. Your father's spirit knows that confusion has followed you, that mix of love and hurt that makes your heart ache. There are memories that bring warmth and others that sting like open wounds. Some days you want to forgive, and other days the pain returns. He understands. He does not ask for quick forgiveness, only for honesty. He asks you to let the healing begin slowly, to let yourself feel whatever comes: sadness, anger, tenderness, even confusion, because all of it belongs to love. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It's about making peace with what was real. He is trying to speak to you through songs that remind you of him, through dreams that bring his presence near, through sudden waves of emotion that come without warning. These are the ways heaven communicates. They are sacred messages meant to remind you that love still exists beyond the limits of time. He wants you to know that the confusion between you doesn't have to remain. It can become understanding. You and he are building a new bridge, one made of forgiveness, compassion, and truth, a love that keeps evolving. The bond between your soul and his did not end when he left this world. It simply changed form. He is still walking beside you, but now from a higher place, one filled with light, clarity, and love. He wants you to know that it's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to cry, to miss him, to wish things had been different. It's okay to hold both love and sorrow in the same breath. Healing is messy but holy. It doesn't come through forgetting, but through gentle remembering. So when you feel that sudden chill, when your heart becomes still, when tears rise without reason, let them come. It's not loneliness. It's love moving between worlds. It's your father's soul trying to say, I'm still here. I still care. I'm learning to love you the way I should have all along. The conversation that never ended. There are things you still want to say to him. Maybe questions. Maybe forgiveness. Maybe words you held back for years. Speak them now. You don't need to hear his voice to know he's listening. Heaven has no distance when love calls. You can speak to him through prayer, through thought, through tears whispered into the quiet of the night. Tell him what you felt. Tell him what you wished for. Tell him you loved him, even when it hurt. Tell him you're ready to heal. He will listen, not with the pride of a man, but with the open heart of a soul redeemed by love. He wants this healing for both of you. He doesn't want you to stay trapped in what could have been. He wants you to step into peace. The peace that comes from knowing that nothing real is ever lost. A father's promise from his place in heaven. Your father promises to keep showing up, not as a shadow of what was, but as a guide toward what is becoming. He will walk beside you through difficult days. He will send comfort when you feel alone. He will protect your heart when it trembles. When you see small signs, a familiar song, a light that flickers, a sudden warmth in your chest, pause and breathe. Whisper, I know it's you. That acknowledgement is healing for both souls. He does not want you to carry the past like a weight anymore. He wants you to walk forward lighter, knowing he is helping you from the other side. He cannot undo what hurt you, but he can bless the path ahead of you with peace. He wants you to live fully, laugh deeply, and love freely, because that, dear child, is the greatest honor you could ever give him. To live without fear, knowing that love is eternal, the eternal truth. So when the air feels charged with stillness, when you sense something unseen but kind, remember this: love never dies. It evolves. It purifies. It becomes light. Your father's love is being reborn in spirit, no longer bound by pain or fear, but radiant, humble, and whole. You were seen last night. You were held in love. You were never alone. The angels want you to know that even those who couldn't love you fully in life are learning to love you perfectly in spirit. Heaven is healing what earth could not. Breathe deeply now. Let the peace of this truth settle in your soul. You are loved. You were always loved. You will forever be loved. Beyond words, beyond time, beyond the veil. The Father's soul contract and the healing of the heart. Dear child, last night was not just another passing moment. It wasn't simply a chill in the air or a random wave of emotion. It was something sacred, something deeply spiritual. What you felt was your Father's soul gently reaching across the veil that separates this world from the next. It was a reunion not of flesh, but of spirit, a sacred remembering of a bond that was written long before either of you were born. The angels stood near as this meeting took place, making sure that your heart would feel what your mind might not yet understand. Your Father's spirit came forward not out of accident or chance, but because it was time. He was drawn by the call of love that never dies, the connection that continues even after physical life ends. That stillness you felt, that sudden wave of emotion that came without warning, was not your imagination. It was the energy of heaven brushing gently against your soul. It was your Father remembering, acknowledging, and honoring the sacred contract that has always existed between your soul and His. The bond between a parent and child is not random. It is not determined by blood alone or by simple earthly choice. It is woven from threads of divine agreements, made long ago in realms beyond what human eyes can see. Before coming to earth, souls gather in love to plan the lessons they will learn together. Some choose easy paths, others choose harder ones, but all do so with a shared purpose: to awaken deeper love and understanding. Your connection with your Father was one of those deliberate, powerful choices. Though your relationship may have carried pain, distance, or silence, it was never meaningless. It was created by two souls who agreed to help each other evolve, to grow through difficulty, to awaken through contrast, and to remember what love means in its most unguarded form. You may not have understood it then, but the angels want you to know now. Everything between you was part of something sacred. Your Father sees this now. From the realm of light, His understanding has expanded. He realizes things he could not grasp while living on earth. He now knows that your connection wasn't just about being a father and child in the physical sense. It was about a deeper purpose, a shared journey of healing and awakening. He understands that your soul came into his life to reflect back to him all the parts of himself he was avoiding. You became a mirror of truth, and that truth sometimes frightened him. Yet even in his confusion, you continued to love. You showed patience, grace, and quiet strength. You didn't let pain harden you. You didn't let disappointment turn your heart cold. Even when his silence hurt you, even when his words or absence made you doubt your worth, you held on to love. And that choice, to stay loving in the face of pain, became one of your soul's greatest achievements. Your Father comes now not to erase the past, but to honor your courage. He knows how much strength it took to love him as you did. He realizes that each time you reached out with hope, with a question, with forgiveness, it was part of your soul fulfilling its promise. And every time he failed to meet you halfway, it was part of his lesson. He sees now that your love was never a weakness. It was divine instruction. He has learned more in the afterlife than he ever did in his time on earth. He understands now that love is not about control, pride, or silence. Love is about presence. It's about listening, holding space, and being open. He couldn't always do that while he was alive, but from where he stands now, surrounded by light, He is learning, and he wants you to know that your love became his teacher. You taught him what unconditional love feels like, even when he didn't know how to receive it. Dear one, the angels want to remind you that no soul contract is meant to destroy you. It is meant to shape you, to deepen you, and to return you to your true self. You have carried the lessons of this relationship with incredible grace. You may have cried, questioned, and struggled, but you never let your spirit lose faith in love. That perseverance is what the heavens call soul mastery. Your Father now sees you not only as his child, but as a luminous soul, one who fulfilled her divine role with quiet nobility. You honored the agreement even when it broke your heart. You kept showing up in love when you had every reason to close down. And that, dear one, is what makes your spirit so radiant. He wishes to tell you that the moments he missed, the love he withheld, and the words he never said, all of them have become sacred lessons in his soul's evolution. He carries them as reminders of what truly matters. He can't return to the past, but he can return to you through light. Each gentle chill you feel, each vivid dream, each whisper in stillness, that is him learning to love you in new ways. Healing between souls doesn't always happen through words or meetings. Sometimes it unfolds across lifetimes. Sometimes it requires distance, silence, and divine timing. Your connection didn't end when his physical life did. It continues to evolve in energy, in spirit, and in understanding. That is why you felt him near last night. The air grew still, not because of loss, but because something sacred was beginning. Your Father is learning in heaven what he could not learn on earth. Self-love. It was always his missing piece. He spent years trying to be strong, trying to prove himself, trying to earn love rather than simply be loved. He mistook vulnerability for weakness. He thought emotion was dangerous, and in protecting himself, he often closed himself off from the very love his soul needed most, yours. But he sees clearly now. He realizes that his silence created confusion, that his emotional distance made you doubt yourself. He knows that his walls caused pain, not because you weren't lovable, but because he was afraid of love's power. He doesn't come now to burden you with guilt or to reopen old wounds. He comes to free you from the ones you still carry, the doubts, the questions, the belief that maybe you weren't enough. He is asking you, from the deepest part of his renewed soul, to release the weight of those old fears. His message is gentle but clear. Please, my child, stop carrying what was never yours to hold. You were never the cause of his struggle. You did not fail him. You loved him as best as anyone could, and your love was never wasted. It awakened him. It softened him. It became the very light that guides his soul now. Your Father is still healing, just as you are. Each time you feel his presence, in a song, a scent, or a sudden memory, it is a sign of his growth. It is him walking toward you with more understanding than before. He is not perfect, but he is sincere. He cannot change the past, but he can be part of your healing now. He wants you to know that your love did not go unnoticed. You may think that your kindness, your patience, and your forgiveness were met with silence, but heaven saw it all. Every tear, every prayer, every moment you chose compassion instead of resentment, they became blessings stored in heaven's light. You were never too much. You were never too emotional. You were exactly what you were meant to be. Love in human form. You showed him what love could look like, even when he couldn't mirror it back. That was not failure. That was sacred service. Dear one, your Father's spirit now moves with humility. He walks softly, not from shame, but from reverence. He finally understands how sacred your heart is, how much it took to love him, to stay gentle when you could have turned away. He knows that your soul held both your pain and his with grace. And now he comes to bow in respect. From the light, he says, "Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for holding space for me. Thank you for loving me even when I did not know how to love myself." You may still feel moments of sadness or longing, and that's okay. Healing is not about forgetting. It's about allowing yourself to feel what needs to be felt until peace replaces pain. Let your heart grieve if it must. Let your tears speak. Your Father hears them now. He listens with the ears of a soul that finally understands. He no longer fears your emotions. He welcomes them. He knows that healing doesn't come from pretending the past was fine. It comes from acknowledging that it wasn't, but choosing to create peace anyway. He has no defense now, no excuses. He simply wants to be present, to help you finish what was left incomplete, because your story with him was not meant to end in silence. It was meant to continue in love. What you both began in life now continues in spirit. This is not the end. It is a continuation, a bridge between heaven and earth. The unfinished emotions are not burdens anymore. They are pathways to healing. The love between you didn't die. It just changed form. So the next time you feel that chill, that sudden awareness that you're not alone, don't brush it off. It's him. It's heaven opening a small window so he can walk through with gentleness and say, "I'm still here. I'm still learning. I love you more clearly now." Let his message soften your heart. Let it remind you that love never fails. It only transforms. What was once painful can become holy. What was once confusing can now bring clarity. The Father you once longed for is now becoming the soul who truly sees you. He is not asking for forgiveness before you're ready. He is simply standing beside you in spirit, offering patience and understanding, and in doing so, he invites you to lay down the burden you've been carrying. This is your healing now, not through forgetting, but through acceptance, not through closing your heart, but through opening it once more to divine grace. Dear child, your Father's journey of redemption is ongoing, and so is yours. Two souls, still learning, still remembering how to love without fear, guided by heaven's tender hand. You are not alone. You never were. The angels are near, surrounding both of you with light. The bond between you has not been broken. It has only deepened, and in that truth lies your peace. So tonight, when you feel the air grow still, or the stars seem to shimmer a little brighter, know this: your Father is there, not as a ghost, but as light, not with regret, but with gratitude. He whispers to your heart with quiet love. I couldn't say it then, but I can now. You were always enough. You were always my greatest lesson in love. Thank you for helping me remember who I truly am. And with those words, dear one, heaven sighs softly, for another piece of the divine plan has come full circle.